Hey there, this is Mr. Icarus, and welcome to yet another edition of Doom Mod Madness. Apologies if my voice sounds a little strange this time around. I'm currently suffering from the common cold, but you know what? We're gonna grin and bear it, because this mod right here is well worth checking out. This is Aliens, Colonial Marines, not to be confused with the Gearbox software release of the same name. This is in fact much more entertaining. Believe it or not, this is in fact the third Aliens-themed Doom mod that I've played here on Doom Mod Madness so far. Previously, we've enjoyed Aliens TC, which is a little bit of Doom modding history. It was the very first total conversion mod ever created for Doom. And we've also had Aliens, the Ultimate Doom, which was very fast-paced, very visceral, rather fun. But this right here, Aliens Colonial Marines, is superbly atmospheric. I mean, just look at this. It's fantastic. I'm loving the rain effects. I'm loving the sound design especially that's going on here. And I'm loving what they've done with the place because, man, it's seen better days. This is exactly how I remember Hadley's Hope from the movies. It's great to be able to see something recreated so well in Doom and have it so instantly recognizable. But we're going to pop into one of these side rooms here and we're going to get ourselves some supplies. And we are really going to need these, especially the sentry gun, which is in this little briefcase thing here. They're quite possibly the most useful deployable in the entire mod. And we're also going to pick ourselves up a good old shotgun here, which I like to use more as a secondary weapon more than anything. Good for taking out tiny scamps like the little chest burster there, but not so good for full-fledged Xenos. And the flares are kind of useless because I don't really find anything dark enough in this mod to really warrant using them. So we're going to stick with the sentry guns for now, and maybe switch back over to our old pulse rifle. And I think that flare's actually illuminating through the wall. Okay, that's interesting. But anyway, let's go say hello to our friendly Xenomorph neighbors, which should be just around the corner here. Eat lead, sucker. But these things are actually pretty goddamn spry. They can leap right into your face from across a room, and you've got to be careful not to let them too close, because the acid blood will damage you, will drain your health, even more so if you get a great big glob of it all down your front. But it's mainly an exercise in keeping your distance, which is kind of interesting, and only really doable for the first few minutes, let's say, of this particular mod, because things escalate rather quickly. As you can see, you'll have tiny creepy crawlies like the face huggers to deal with on a fairly frequent basis as well, just turning up to ruin your day. But what we're going to do here is we're going to plant a sentry gun and ruin a few faces, because I knew that ambush was there waiting for me, and it has driven me up the friggin' wall for many playthroughs now. You will die, often and painfully, and you will forget to save, which is why it's fairly interesting that this mod has a kind of built-in auto-save system. So every now and again you'll come across tiny little PDA looking things, and when you pick them up, they will actually automatically save the game for you, lest you forget to do it yourself, because this is a pretty big map. This is a pretty big and complicated map. I mean, it's got this giant ventilation system here as well, which is wonderfully lit, I might add. Even though you can kind of see into the distance, you still can't shake the feeling that some big, angry black Xenomorph might come charging down there at some point. It's the kind of situation where a motion tracker would really come in handy, but unfortunately that particular item is missing from this mod. Can't have everything, I suppose, but at its core, this mod is really all about scavenging for as many supplies as you can get your hands on before you have to face down the Xenomorph horde, because let me tell you, even though it looks like I'm relatively well stocked up right now, it's not enough. I actually think this first map took me about half an hour to get through first time around. There's 4 maps in total, but it'll be a minor miracle if any of you get past this first map without rage quitting at least 5 or 6 times, because firstly, it's an absolute labyrinth, really easy to get turned around, even, goddammit, even with the benefit of auto map. Secondly, I've now got acid down my front, and it doesn't just deal contact damage, it also deals damage over time, depending on how severe the spillage was, so you're going to be burning through that health and armor relatively quickly. And thirdly, if you're anything like me, you'll probably forget to save on a fairly frequent basis. And goddammit, even with the benefit of the autosave modules littered around here, you're still going to find yourself backtracking through some fairly taxing and faintly terrifying encounters, and it's pretty goddamn stressful. Sometimes you'll just find yourself wanting to walk away, take a breather, have a cup of tea, and Actually, come to think of it, in all honesty, this is a really effective survival horror style mod. I'm still finding my jimmies thoroughly rustled by this mod here. Oh, there we go. We got another autosave module, which means we're safe up until this point, and we are well and truly in the thick of it right now. But it's testament to the effectiveness of this mod that it still manages to keep me on edge, even though I've played through it multiple times now. It's just a really well put together mod. It's a really great combination of elements. I just feel like it could be, you know, ever so slightly more forgiving. I kind of get the feeling that this mod would actually work really well with being played cooperatively. You know, get a bunch of buddies to help you out, act like an actual squad of Colonial Marines, just to, you know, take the edge off the difficulty ever so slightly. Because there's no way to dial this down, and trust me, if you think this is hectic right now, we haven't even reached full hectic yet, and you do not want to go full hectic. I'm going to have to watch out for that turret as well, because you can take friendly fire damage here, and getting killed by my own turret has been the source of multiple rage quits during the course of researching this particular mod. But through here should hopefully be a button, which I like to call the shit just got real button, because once we press it, that's when things get full hectic, and we're gonna have to prepare for that. We've got a few supplies in here. We're probably gonna have to deal with a few little creepy crawlies as well, because where there's supplies and dead bodies, there is inevitably also chestbursters and facehuggers, so screw you guys. But yeah, once I press this button, I really do not expect to survive all that long, because it unlocks an extra section of this map. We need to go through it in order to get the blue keycard, and yes, I'm definitely hoovering up that module. But, it's done. We have let slip the dogs of war. It's not an immediate outpouring, but trust me, we'll run into the horde sooner or later, because we've got to backtrack along the route to that undrawn sector of the auto map at the top there. That's the residential area where the blue keycard is. And I'm wondering how many Xenomorphs it's going to take before I kick the bucket here. I'm thinking not many, because I'm at 39 health, and listen to that hissing. There is a lot of hissing going on. That is a lot of Xenomorphs. It just really adds to the atmosphere of the place. I'm not feeling very good about this scenario here, because as soon as we run... Oh, Jesus Christ, you son of a bitch! That didn't take long at all. You know what, I'm done with this blatant disrespect of my Colonial Marine credentials. So, we're weapon cheating it up large here. We've got access to the flamethrower now, and the smart gun, and I'm doing this chiefly to show you exactly what I mean when I say that this mod is ridiculously unfairly hard, because even though the flamethrower is pretty damn badass, this flamethrower can still kill me by accident if I walk into my own flames. Thankfully, we have the smart gun. But the downside to the smart gun is you can't move when you're firing it. You're pretty much rooted to the spot, and if you keep firing it for too long, it needs to cool down. So there's a bit of a double-edged sword element to these higher weapons here, which is why I don't feel all that shameful about using them to get through this godforsaken map. But here we go. The horde is making its way across the bridge, and this is what the sentry turret is for. So we're going to hang back and let the sentry turret do its thing. Sentry turrets only have a limited amount of health as well, so if a bunch of Xenos decide to gang up on the turret, they can pretty much take it down relatively quickly, but I think we're okay for now. We've just got to clean up a few more of these guys, but we are not done yet. That is just a fraction of the crap that I'm gonna have to deal with to get through this map. I mean, look at this shit. They're coming out the goddamn walls. I am screwed. You know what, I'm kind of in two minds about this whole difficulty thing. I'm kind of annoyed that I'm still having to talk about it, but it's an aspect of this particular mod that really overshadows everything else. I mean, on one hand, I can actually see where the author of this mod is coming from. He's putting you up against the same ridiculously unfavorable odds that the movie characters themselves were up against. And as a result, he's kind of challenging you to go against the traditional Doom style of gameplay, which is, for me, normally kill them all. Kill everything that you can see, but here you've got to play in a little bit more of an unorthodox fashion. You've got to use the environment itself to carve yourself a safe path to the next point that you need to get to, and that's pretty ingenious, but I still feel that it's ridiculously tough. So much so that it will turn a lot of people away, and maybe some of you out there will really relish this kind of challenge, but for me, it just ends up kind of pissing me off after a while. Don't get me wrong though, I still think that this is an absolutely fantastic mod. It's a really impressive piece of work. It's just that I'm absolutely terrible at playing it. I mean, you think I'm having a hard time getting through this particular map? You ain't seen nothing. I'd show you map 2 and 3 and 4, but I'd be in danger of suffering a rage-induced brain aneurysm. I'm not even kidding. I mean, even with the weapon cheat turned on, I literally can't. I literally can't even. But you know what? I'm sure there is someone out there that will be able to get through this in one piece without using weapon cheats and prove unequivocally that it's me that sucks and that this entire mod is more than doable without the assistance of cheats. And you know what? I would love to see that happen. I would love to see video evidence of that happening. So, you know what? If you think you're up to the challenge, the link, as usual, is in the description below. Feel free to leave a like if you've enjoyed this video, and if you've got any suggestions for future mods you'd like to see me check out on Doom Mod Madness, let me know in the comments below. And if you're not already subscribed, well, you know what? You best check under your bed for a facehugger or two. This has been Mr. Icarus, the worst Colonial Marine in the squad. Icarus out.